Welcome to this new episode. I'm super thrilled to be here with you. And before we begin our podcast series, so I will teach you in the next 4 weeks how to sell effectively and overcome all the fear that you have around selling. So please stick with me for the next 4 weeks. And let's boost your sales and making you the successful businesswoman that you deserve to be. So I promise it's going to be fun. It's going to be something that you can all implement it and really achieve results with your sales meeting or calls or DM. Before we start, I really want to say thank you to be here, to listen to my podcast, to support my YouTube channel. So make sure that you subscribe so you are getting notification every time that we do a new episode. And mostly you also support my channel, which is like something that we put a lot of work and passion into this. So your support will be very special. Also, I would like to share that this episode is sponsored by Fuel Your Business with Confidence, which is our 8 months coaching experience where we help women moving from 0, 1K, 2K to finally break through and make 5K with consistency every single month and overcame all their fears of marketing, sales, confidence, and everything in between. So let's dig in now in that episode. So how I decided to start this series. Of course, the first one, it will be how to overcome finally your fear of selling. And I really want to share here a little bit of a story because it's important to give you context. So why I am doing this series, because I have been able to coach in the past 4 years over 100 women in business. I am still a woman in business myself that started from scratch. I did over 60 interviews this year to women in business, and they all have the same problem. Fear of selling. Fear of selling is the most common one. Even yesterday, we had the call with our group container, and all my clients say, I am afraid, Sarah, now to sell. That's why I decided, after collecting all of this testimonial, having conversation with clients and with people all around the world, to create these 4 episodes. I am truly passionate about sales. It's something that I've been worked through this a lot in my business career. And I just want to let you know that it is possible to overcome this fear and also to feel more confident in your sales and become really good with this. So we have been spoke in my other episode that confidence, for example, it's a skill that you can build. Sales, it's a skill that you can build. Everything in business, it can be built. It requires you, the commitment of doing the work and understanding also more how to sell in a more effective way that also feels good to you. So this 4 episode is going to be different from all the other podcast episodes that you listen to about sales. So stick with me for the next 4 weeks and send me a DM when you are going to see results in your sales, because you will if you follow those 4 tips that I will share with you. So I was super not confident around selling and I had a lot of fear. So when we arrive at the point of selling, people are afraid. But the first things to do here to overcome your fear of selling is understand why you are afraid. You are afraid of what? You are afraid of rejection. You are afraid of success. You are afraid of failure. This is really important that you figure it out. What is the fear that you have? Because how we can overcome this fear if you don't know why you are afraid of something and where this fear come from. So this will be the first step, like which one of those you have. Fear of failure, very common. Fear of rejection, fear of success. And the second tips that I can give you here is go deeper with that. So when you talk about sales, for example, and you say, I don't want to sell because I am afraid that I will be, complete these sentences. You will be like what? Pushy, you manipulate people, annoying, how you will be. Because if we don't figure out this word and we don't complete this sentence, we don't know what's going on there. So for example, yesterday with my client, I say to her, what are you afraid of? What? I'm afraid that I will be too pushy. Another of my clients say, I'm afraid that I will be too annoying to people, or I'm afraid that I sound like I am sellish, I manipulate people, and I don't want to message people, I don't want to ask for the sales because I don't want to manipulate people. So those are really common. So figure out which one is the one that you have, and let's work on that. Because if you don't know which one you have, how can we overcome all of this? So for example, when I started, mine was, I'm afraid that I will be too pushy. That was my biggest one. Like, I was stopping myself to sell because I was afraid that if I will do it, I will be pushy. I will sound like someone that push people to buy from me, which is, none of them are true when you're selling with integrity and when you're selling with, you really care about the person that you have in front of you. And I know you do, or otherwise you will not be here in my channel. It's very important that you remind to yourself this multiple times in your sales journey. So this is the first tip. So figure it out what you are afraid of: failure, success, rejection. And when you're thinking about sales, are you afraid that you will be? Complete the sentence. When we got this, how do we overcome all of this? So first things, very essential, change the way that you speak around sales. So the first things that I did for myself, which is I learned this from other mentors and successful business people, I am not a seller. So please write this down, and I'm sure it's gonna pop in here in the video. I am not a seller. I am an helper. Okay, so I am not here to sell, I'm here to help. So this one for me was really the big one, because I shifted the way that I was seeing sales, and I shifted as well my language, because that's also the problem in business. We use a language that doesn't support how we react. Because if you always say to yourself, oh, I'm too selfish, I'm too pushy, I manipulate people, and if is this the energy that you have, of course you're gonna have this energy, and of course people will feel in that way when they spoke with you. But if you shift the energy, if you shift the mindset, and you say, I'm not a seller, I'm an helper, you approach sales in a different way. So what I did when I started, I don't do this anymore, but when I started, I had a post-it on my laptop, and when I was jumping in a sales call with someone, I had this post-it with this sentence written down in front of me as a reminder: I'm not a salesperson, I'm not here to sell, and that's all. I'm here to help this person, I'm here to help this person. This works really well. It seems a little things, but it's gonna change everything in your sales perspective. So write this down and make sure that you visualize this. Like, don't just say it, just visualize that. So it was on my phone, for example, in my screen phone, it was on my laptop, it was I remember that I also written down this in my mirror with my lipstick in my bathroom. So I was reading that, and now it is stick in my brain, in my mind. And yeah, that's how I feel about myself now. I'm not a seller, I'm an helper. Even right here with you, I am selling, but I'm helping you. I'm helping you at the same times, because I am teaching you how to overcome one of the biggest blocks that entrepreneurs have in business: fear of selling. So I am not a selling person. I'm not a seller, I'm an helper, okay? Very important. Second tips that I can give you: fear of rejection. So you are afraid to receive a no, which is why you are not selling. You are not selling because you are afraid that the person that you will approach will say no. And I have to say this to you. Probably they will be the majority of people that will say no to your service. So you really need to change the mindset around receiving a no and rejection, because you are going to receive a no multiple times in your business. And before you acceptance that people, not everybody is a client, not everybody will buy from you. Like, the acceptance is the first step of liberating yourself from the fear of rejection, because that's normal. You know, we can't pretend that everybody is going to buy, right? I mean, who we are. It is not something that, you know, it doesn't mean nothing around about you if someone doesn't buy your service, but it's going to happen. So can you accept that today, that you will receive no multiple times, many times, and don't attach your worth with that no. So that is very fundamental in business to learn straight away. Acceptance. And I remember that when I started, I wasn't able to accept the fact that people will say no to Sarah. Sarah, will say no to you, and that's okay. Like, it's normal. It is part of the process. And second, they know that you will receive has nothing to do with you. Accept that it is not personal. And was one of my biggest lessons ever. I will say that this is the biggest one that I had around sales. The fact that when someone say no to me, they don't reject Sarah. It is not personal. It is not for them. This product is not for them. I am not the right coach for them. Or maybe they are looking something else. They don't have the budget. They don't want to do the work, which is very normal in my business, that women doesn't want to do the work and they don't want to, you know, stretch themselves and get out of that comfort zone. And it's not personal. It doesn't say nothing about me and my academy. It doesn't mean that the academy and Sarah, she's not good. It simply means that this is not the right client and it is not personal. The moment that you shift this, you are going to approach your sales with a completely different mindset, because you feel and see rejection as something that it's not personal. It is not, because it is not. People can rejecting you if they know you, if they are part of your life, like a partner or a friend that decide that they don't want to deal with you anymore. That's rejection. And that's a different kind of trauma that we have to face, because we have someone important to us, someone that loves us, a parent, a mom, a dad, a brother or a sister that reject you. That's rejection. That's personal, because we love them and we kind of have a relationship with them. They know us and they don't want to deal with us anymore. That's rejection. And that's something that you take personally, because it is personal. In business, in sales, it is not personal, because people doesn't know you, so they don't reject you. So you cannot face rejection. So this is the tricks. This is something that shifted my entire mindset in business around sales. So we are afraid of rejection, but that's not rejection. We have a wrong perspective of what rejection is, because rejection is related with something and someone that knows you, and they decide, I don't want you anymore. That's rejection. And that's something that you need to deal with through therapy or other practice to overcome the rejection. In business, you cannot be rejected because they don't know you. They don't know you. So that's not rejection, okay? So this is something that I really want you to write it down. No, I'm not afraid anymore of rejection, because there is no rejection here. They cannot reject me because they don't know me. And that's what I repeat to myself every single time before I'm jumping in a sales call. I repeat to myself those little things. I am not a seller. I am an helper. I am not afraid of rejection, because there is no rejection here. It's not going to be possible because they don't know me. So if they say no, it's not personal. It's just them. They are not ready for this, and I'm not maybe the right fit. So I'm okay with that. I am still good enough, and they haven't rejected me. So that's really fundamental, because we are confused about what rejection is. And this is really a small difference, but it's actually a huge difference. So you can't be rejected because they don't know you. Rejection is another thing, okay? It's different from this one. Next, I repeat to myself this one. So you have to figure out what is your conversion rate. And when I find out which is my conversion rate, like the number, you know, like your conversion rate is 10%, 20%, 80%, 70%. So, and the more higher the conversion rate is, it means that the more sales you close. The lower the conversion rate is, meaning that your conversion rate is not higher and you need to improve. So figuring out today what is your conversion rate is going to support your mindset. Because if your conversion rate is low, like 10%, 20%, usually I see this with my clients is 20%, which is very low. And when they figure out the number, they say, Sarah, that's why I'm not selling. I'm not good. Like, I need to improve my sales skills because I'm converting people. Like I have a very low conversion rate, which means that you just need to practice more. That's all. It means that you need to practice more sales meeting, calls, DM, and practice the skills until you don't increase your conversion rate. Because what is going to happen when you increase your conversion rate? Listen up. When you increase your conversion rate, you close more sales. Because maybe you have 5 meetings, 5 sales calls this month. And if your conversion rate is 80, you're going to close probably all of them, which is, it makes you better, which means that even if you're getting less leads this month and you book less calls, it doesn't matter, because the one that you're going to book, you're going to convert to them, which will be enough, which this will reduce the amount of work that you need to do to find new leads. But we have to get better. So if you don't even know your sales conversion, it means that you are not selling at all, which is good. Good is a good awareness, because you know what this is meaning? It means that you just need to sell more to grow your business. That's why you haven't sold enough, because you are not doing sales, which is okay, which is very, very normal. Because when I ask this question to my clients, they say, I don't know, Sarah, which is my sales conversion. And I ask them, when it was the last time that you sell? And they say, I don't even remember if I never done that. So that's amazing, because it means that we are finding out what is the problem and the gap in your business, that you are not selling. So if you're not selling enough, you don't have this percentage, which is awesome. It means that maybe you are even more good than you thought. You maybe can convert people easily. You maybe will figure out that you are really good with this. So we have more opportunity open in front of us because we don't know. And when we don't know something, it's amazing that we don't know something. Do you know why? Because you discover something new about yourself and you realize, because I can promise you already, that you are much better than you think. But if you don't do it, if you don't practice that, you're never gonna know how good you are. And if you are not too good, like I was when I started, I was terrible at selling. I improved from 20% to 70%. So when I do a sales call now, the chance that I'm closing the call is very high, because I make sure that when I'm jumping in a call with someone is qualified and I already have done the first part. And I'm going to teach you all of this in the upcoming weeks. So stick with me. So this was the other important thing. So rejection. So the first one, like we said, changing the mindset. You are not a seller, you are an helper. Rejection. There is no rejection. Okay. So you are not rejected. You cannot be rejected. And then your conversion rate, very important. So we know what to do, how to improve. And the next step, it will be having this kind of mindset. So if my conversion rate is 20-25%, if I'm having 3 sales calls in the next week, okay, they all say no. They will say no, okay, which is because that's your conversion rate, which means if I got 3 no, the 4th call that I will do, it will be a yes. And that's a statistic. So I approach my sales like that. So I have 4 sales calls. The first 2, 3, probably they're going to say no. No drama, they maybe going to buy in the future. The 4th one is a pay client. So I need to book more sales call because I'm just missing 1 call before I'm making a sales. And this is the type of mindset that I have. And it pushed me to book more calls, but also to approach the calls with a more positive attitude. And I remind to myself, okay, the first 3 will be a no. The 4th one is going to be my next pay client. And guess what? That's how it's going to be, because you having a different approach, you having a different energy, and you are not seeing anything as a rejection. You know, I remember that when I started, I had a period when I was, of course, practicing this. I did 20 sales calls, didn't close even 1. It was no, 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 no. After I know, for 20 times in a row. Do you know what it means? It means that you have been received 20 no in a row. that was the biggest lesson for me of really, that's why I'm sharing this with you, because that helped me to overcome all of this. Fear of rejection, fear of not being good enough, fear of being too pushy or selling or manipulating or whatever it may be, and really working on my mindset and my conversion rate to improve and approach all of this in a different way. So if you haven't experienced 20 rejection, that is not a rejection, remember, but I know that you believe that 20 no, it means that you are not selling. And if you're not selling, you gotta sell, because that's how you become better and that's how you grow your business. So very fundamental to understand that. And next, the last step that I will say and that I will do is really working on your self-worth. So what I do constantly before a sales call, I do this, like, I like myself. I like myself. I like myself. I like myself. And I move the energy in my body and I repeat to myself that I like myself. Like, I'm amazing. I'm awesome. I got this. And, even if they say no, is a no a rejection, because they cannot reject me because they don't know me. And I repeat this with myself with gesture, because it reinforces in my body the beliefs that I'm good enough. I like myself. Everything is okay. And whatever it's going to be, the worst case scenario, they will say no. That's fine. I'm going to be alive. I'm going to be fine. And I'm just keep going with my business, and may they become a pay client in the future, which has helped me, happened to me in the past multiple times that people decide to work with me later on. So I repeat to me, I like myself, I like myself, I like myself, I like myself, and everything's going to be fine. There is no possibility for rejection. I did already 3 sales calls. It was a no. This one is going to be a yes. And I visualize myself closing the sales already. It works. It works. It works. Try and let me know how you go, because it works. So this is something that very, very important. So those steps are the one that really are going to supporting you to overcome fear of selling, because they are very simple to implement. Anybody can do it. And you must just implement them. Really, don't overthink this process. Just work through your mindset. Maybe write them down every single day in your journal, or like I do, have post-it everywhere that are going to remind you all of this multiple times before a sales call. And also remember, if someone say no to you, it is no rejection. So like we say, there is no possibility of rejection. And if someone say no, it doesn't mean that it is not going to be a yes later. So just approach this with ease, with confidence, with fun, because, the more you approach this in this way, the more you are going to overcome your fear, and you will figure out that there is nothing wrong with selling. Selling is a beautiful act of service for the people in front of you that need your support, and you are not doing anything bad. You are serving and helping them with your product. So I hope the first episode, it was enjoyable. Comment below, let us know how did you go. Reach out to me on Instagram, because please, I really would like to know how you feel after those tips and how you're going to overcome your fear of selling. And please make sure that you buy our $7 offer, which is unbelievable, insane. So you're going to get a free webinar where I explain to you the 5 steps that you need to hit the 5 pay client this month, not next month, this month. So it's a 5-step framework that will giving you exactly what you need to make 5 sales in the next 30 days. So below, you're going to find a link. Make sure that you buy the $7 webinar. We're going to provide to you a workbook with all the steps, my script. So you're going to have my script as a bonus to use it to sell to people. So thank you so much for being here with me. And I wish you an amazing month full of sales.